What's going on, everyone? My name is Michael SK and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. Last time, we accepted Michiru's request for Sachi to get rid of the test that is apparently coming up right after summer break. Well, summer break is ending tonight. In the game, not IRL tonight. But anyways, summer break, this is the final day. So that means the next day we got a test. And apparently Sachi is getting rid of the test on her own. Yuji is not helping, but Yuji is coming up with some sort of plan. And I think we're going to be seeing that plan come in action. So this is going to be an action-packed video session, whatever. I lost my train of thought, but let's get into it. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for more story, really. And I'm hoping that there's going to be some fantastic story in this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave a like if just for the support, I guess. Like I know no one likes this, so it's all good. So just leave a like for support, or don't, whatever. And subscribe if you haven't, because a subscriber a day keeps the cancer away. Let's do this. So that's what this is about. Alright, there's our recap. I didn't need to say anything. Absolutely right on all counts, Sakaki. You'll find out soon enough. Such a cynic. I'm not being evasive this time. It means that Sachi's going to make her move today. On that note, I need your help with something, Sakaki. Yeah, we already asked you, man. Yeah, first of all, take these. I reach into my breast pocket, retrieve the tickets I prepared beforehand, and hold them out for Sakaki to accept. Oh, it's the 4 tickets for the helicopter ride. A complimentary helicopter ride ticket, 4 of them, to be exact. See at Mishima Cape's beautiful night scenery spread out below you, and all that. No, I'm perfectly serious. Are we trying to get the 4 of them out of here so it's just Yuji, Sachi, and whatever else? We already talked about the possibility of danger, remember? These tickets have a great deal to do with that. Yep. Yeah, it's a win-win. You won't face any unfounded suspicion, and it'll be easier for us to act. Glad to hear it. Pretty much, yeah. You did promise to help me out, and I trust you, Sakaki. Don't give me that angry look. Mumbling in a sulky tone of voice, Sakaki quietly slides the tickets into her breast pocket. Or into her pocket. I don't know what I read. Thanks, I owe you one. I don't know why I read breast pocket, but I'm pretty sure everyone's going to get the wrong idea. Like, you can actually see she doesn't have that sort of pocket on her. Or does she? Nothing special. Go enjoy the view. Just make sure you get the others to come along. Over the last few months, I've learned all too well that corralling, whatever that word is, that group is never an easy task. I'm counting on you to take care of them. You got it, homie. Cutting off the conversation, Sakaki turns to leave the room. Before you go, I want to apologize. Sorry, Sakaki. You'll understand that soon enough as well. Okay. My wisecrack goes over like a lead balloon. In the end, Sakaki stalks off down the stairs in an even worse mood than before. Sorry for the hassle, Sakaki. Wait, what?
ただいまなのよさ。
Just as I'm leaving my room, I hear Amane and Makina returning through the front door. That's a lot of bags. Shopping expedition, I assume?
そうなんだけど、ちょっとおかしなことがあったのよね。
How so?
いつもみたいにアマネーがお色気を振りまきながら商店街で買い物してたら、
Okay, nothing new.
みんながアマネちゃんやマキボウも大変だねって言いながらいろいろおまけしてくれたのよさ。
Jesus Christ.
でも私たちには何の心当たりもないから得した反面ちょっと悪い気がしちゃってさ。
I see.
ユージは何か心当たりあったりする？
Nothing comes to mind. Ha. Maybe they just decided to show some appreciation for your constant patronage?
だといいんだけどね。
How are they this stupid? Not entirely convinced, Amane wanders slowly up the stairs to the second floor with her head tilted slightly in puzzlement.
ねえお兄ちゃん、今日サッチン見た？
Come to think of it, no. She hasn't been around.
お兄ちゃんが見てないって言うなら買い物にでも行ってるのかもしれないのよさ。
That's a possibility, yeah.
じゃあもしサッチンを見かけたら私が探してたって伝えてほしいのよ。
Got it. I'll pass that along.
ありがとう。じゃあ私はアマネーの手伝いをしてくるのよさ。
By snatching half-cooked food off the plate with her back, or when her back's turned.
失礼な。それは少しだけなのよさ。
Okay, kid. Pretty indignant? Sure. Considering she's not even denying it. Not bothering to offer a verbal report, I watch Makina trot energetically up the stairs toward Amane's room. Assuming she's gonna act today, Sachi might already have begun to make her preparations. And I have an idea of what they may be. Because, you know, the anime and all that. But I won't really, expose? No, what's the word? What have I been saying before? I won't give in. Sure, why not? I don't know what word I'm looking for. But I've been saying it, like, a lot whenever I think back on the, anime. Oh, well. I feel like I just confused a lot of people. I ramble too much. Huh. Sakaki successfully coaxed the others out. The dorm lies in silent and deserted. Alone on the roof, I gaze blankly out at the sinking sun. I'm sure the others had questions about this sudden event, and why Sachi and I weren't coming along, but none of them got to me. Guess Sakaki was thoughtful enough to take care of that. Not long till nightfall. I'm not particularly fond of the night. To be honest, you could say that I actively dislike it. Night is a deep and hostile blackness that swallows us whole. A darkness so absolute that it feels like a premonition, sure, of death. It makes us remember things that we'd rather forget, images we've tried to erase from our memories. It shows us with gut-wrenching clarity just how weak and powerless we really are. Of course, I'm aware that the same doesn't apply for everyone, but ever since that day, this is what the night has been for me. Even at a time like this, let down my guard for a minute, and I start shaking like an idiot. And tonight, there's more to it than old traumas. The vague anxiety I've felt ever since I decided to bring Sachi and normality is weighing heavily on my shoulders. I felt the same way when I forced her to accept this request. It's something like guilt. I drove Sachi's back into the wall for my own selfish reasons. Got practically everyone I know mixed up in this as well. And after all that, even if I succeed, will it really make her any happier? You're gambling with someone's life here. You really alright with that? When I close my eyes, the other side of me whispers its doubts. Look at that. I'm trembling. Still scared of the dark at my age. Almost like a curse, isn't it? The students gathered in this academy all have their quirks, and I'm no exception. Right now, I'm just a piece of defense equipment, kept alive by my country for its own purposes. I'm not gifted with perfect insight and judgment. I've never been a genius like my sister was, far from it. Am I really qualified to be messing around with her life? When I voice my worries, I feel sweat gathering unpleasantly in the palms of my hands. Still, if I let myself flinch this late in the game. My master would probably come back to life just to kick my ass into next week. That's right. No point in hesitating now. I already made my decision. I'll do everything I can, and I'll believe in Sachi. Alright, it's nighttime. Ooh, we're going back to this. So we're with Sachi again. Alright. So just so you know, if you guys didn't watch the earlier episodes, when the screen is like this, we're basically following someone else and not Yuji. He is not the narrator. He is not the main character at the moment. We're focused on Sachi now.
昼間のうちに一箇所だけ窓の鍵を開けておき、そこから校舎の中に侵入。中に入ったら、そばに用意しておいたあれを校舎内に搬入する。
Mentally reviewing the plan I've positioned over these last few days, I follow the procedure with exacting care, one deliberate step at a time. From what the principal told us, the achievement test will be held the day after tomorrow. However, considering the opening ceremony tomorrow and the unpredictable, wow, I'm idiotic, obstacles it will present, today is my last real chance to carry out this task. But even after all my meticulous research and thorough brainstorming, I was unable to find a plausible alternative to my previous method.
でも、大丈夫。前回はうまくいったんだし、この方法自体に問題があるわけじゃない。ミスなく計画通りの手順を踏めば、きっと今回もうまくいく。だから大丈夫。
I repeat the words again and again, trying to convince myself they're true, trying to distract myself from the hazy, dark discomfort smoldering somewhere deep inside my chest.
これはきっと良くないもの。いい子でいるためには必要ないもの。だから余計なことは考えないようにしなきゃ。
Regaining my calm with an effort of will, I begin to spread a certain something along the darkened hallway. The instant the liquid in the thick plastic can touches the outside air, a unique smell fills my nose. I knew this stench well, even as a child, when I used to help pour new fuel into the kerosene heaters that warmed our home, but I never did come to like it. As these distracted thoughts run through my head, I empty the can, then drop a rag to the floor and let the oil soak into it.
これに火をつける。
Oh shit. When I whisper those words to myself, I feel a voice whispering back, somewhere deep inside my mind. My hands come to a sudden stop. And as my thoughts return to the nature of that voice, I violently shake my head back and forth, pushing it all away. I crouch to the ground, determined, resigned, vaguely feeling some small part of myself give up. And I reach out to the slick rag, a lighter clenched firmly in my hand. Oh shit. The small seed of flame I plant at the corner of the cotton cloth blossoms quickly, spreading along the line of fuel. It transforms before my eyes into a full-scale fire. Scorching heat batters my skin. It's not an unfamiliar sensation. I'm seized with a strange feeling, almost like nostalgia. But none of that matters any longer, since this time I deactivated the fire alarms and sprinkler system beforehand. All I need to do is repeat this procedure a few times throughout the building.
これでみちる様の依頼を達成することができる。そうすればゆうくんから出された課題の答えもきっと見つかる。
Oh, far from it. For a moment, relief blooms in my chest, and in the next, with the sound of a dozen showers switched on at once, the sprinklers installed in the ceiling spring, my bad, to life. Installed in the ceiling spring to life. There we go. Before I can even understand the situation, an almost disproportionate torrent of cold water rains down, soaking every inch of the hallway. The flames that were growing so vigorously only seconds before shrink with astonishing swiftness.
そんなちゃんと確かめたはずなのにどうして。
Just last night, I entered the pump room and turned off every last one of the disaster prevention systems installed in this building, even testing that the sprinklers would no longer activate. But all of a sudden, they're completely functional. It's simply incomprehensible. The fire's gone out. That one thought filling my mind. I run over to the rag shelter with my body and desperately flick the switch of my lighter. But the cloth's already soaked thoroughly with water. It refuses to accept the flame. A waterlogged piece of cotton isn't going to catch fire. I understand that rationally, but I still push the switch frantically, half crazed with desperation and terror. So, you chose this method after all. Huh, we switched back. When I turn the corner into the thoroughly drenched hallway, I find Sachi crouched low on the floor, her eyes wide with shock. Interesting that she came in full school uniform, not the maid outfit she finds it easiest to work in. I guess she was trying to show respect for the place, in her way. Yeah, turned the sprinklers on this afternoon, if that's what you're wondering about. Well, it'd be a bit of a pain in the ass if the alarms went off, so I did leave those deactivated. Carefully shutting down the preventative systems beforehand to enable setting a large-scale fire. Just the sort of plan I'd expect from you, Sachi. It's actually pretty simple to predict the way a competent, careful person will approach something like this. If I was going to try and set fire to this building, I'd have done the same exact thing. Taking out the sprinklers was a necessity, and today was the only day to do it. Yeah, I expected you to use this method from the start. And I turned the sprinklers back on because there's something I want to tell you. Sachi's mind doesn't seem to have fully caught up with the events. Her face is blank, her eyes fill with puzzlement. Most likely she hadn't even begun to consider this possibility, that someone would step in to interfere at this juncture. The situation you're dealing with here is completely different from the last one. The size and construction of this building is nothing like that little wooden schoolhouse. Plus, it's equipped with state-of-the-art firefighting systems. Disabling those beforehand was a good start, but sprinkling kerosene around like you did last time would require a lot more fuel to be really effective, and you'd need a lot more time to spread it. Considering that you absolutely have to do the job alone before anyone notices, your chances of success are virtually nil. It's entirely likely you'd cause some damage here and there, but that's not going to be a huge problem. The test would just be moved to an intact classroom. This place was designed for people like us, remember? You're not going to shut it down that easily. As I lay out the truth of the situation, Sachi stares up at me with disbelief and terror in her eyes. Yeah, at this rate, you're going to fail. The color instantly drains from Sachi's face. She slumps jerkily to the soaking wet floor like a puppet cut from its strings. Why so surprised? I'm pretty sure you knew this wouldn't work out all along. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been searching that intently for another way. No need for all that research if your previous method was good enough. But no matter how you looked, no matter how hard you thought it over, no other solution presented itself. And unable to find a genuinely viable strategy, you had no choice but to turn to your previous method. Since there was no other way, even if the prospects looked dim, you could at least cling to the thought that it worked before. Am I wrong?
だから大丈夫なんです。だって他に方法がないなら必ず成功させるしかない。失敗することなんて考えてはいけないんです。だって私に失敗は許されない。私はいつもいい子でいなきゃいけない。どんな手段を使っても絶対にこの依頼を成功させなきゃダメなんです。
I've never seen this expression on her face before. Never heard her voice so thick with emotion. The sound echoes fiercely down the dark hallway. No one responds. Her anguish and desperation hang in the air for a moment, then fade into the indifferent silence, as if to symbolize her long, lonely, futile struggle. Tell me something, Sachi. Why are you so determined to do everything asked of you? Why are you so persistent with this good girl thing? Getting rid of a test is a completely unreasonable demand to make of a normal human being. The others said as much, didn't they? Even if you give up now, they'll probably just say, yeah, figured as much. Nobody's gonna hold it against you.
それはウー君の推測に過ぎません。
What?
どんなに仲のいい相手でも相手の気持ちは相手にしか分かりません。
Bull fucking shit.
それは血のつながった家族だって同じです。だから一度も失敗できない。何かを失いたくなければいい子でいないといけない。誰よりも勉強をして、誰よりも言うことを聞いて、誰からも好かれるような子でいなければいけないんです。そうじゃないとみんな亡くなってしまう。現に幼い頃の私が悪い子だったせいで、私の大好きだった人はみんなあんなに私のことを可愛がってくれていたお父さんとお母さん、わがままばかり言う私に愛想を尽かしてあんなことになって、それにウ君だって大切なものを失うのは自分が死ぬことよりも怖い。あんなに辛い思いをするのはもう嫌なんです。もう何も失いたくない。だから私は絶対に失敗できないんです。今度失敗したらきっとまたみんないなくなってしまう。こんな私に彼女になれって言ってくれたゆうくんもみちる様もまきちゃんもあまねさんもさくきさんも学園長さんもみんないなくなってしまうんです。
Sashi's feelings flow out of her in a torrent of words, her voice rising to a shout. Every sentence is filled with such bitterness that it's difficult even to listen. The pain of losing those who were precious to her, the sadness, the impotent anger, all jumbled together in an anguished wail. To me, it sounds like the voice of a child crying out for help. So then, if you become a good girl, if you succeed in this request, will you be yourself again? Will acting like a good girl should keep the things you love safe? What do you think, Sachi? Sachi's barred her heart to me. In return, I offer not kindness or comforting words, but a steady gaze.
それはもちろんです。
I see. In that case, I'll grant your wish. I'm going to help you become the person you want to be. I'll make sure you complete this task.
そんな、どうして。
I made a promise, didn't I? I want to help you be yourself.
だとしてもゆうくんはさっきこの依頼を成功させるのは限りなく不可能に近いって。
Virtually impossible means there's a non-zero chance. And if you're not trying to do everything alone, things change pretty dramatically. As long as you really are willing to do whatever it takes, there are plenty of ways to get this done.
それは本当でしょうか。
Of course.
じゃあユウくんには今回の依頼を成功させるための作戦があるんですね。
Yeah, I have a slightly different way of doing things, but it should be fine. The preliminary arrangements are already in place.
いつの間にそんなことを。
I assume joint responsibility for our success on this job. And when 9029, or 9029, my bad, I don't know why I read it like that, participates in a mission, failure isn't an option. Of course, this isn't an Ichigaya job, and I'm not going on a cleaning expedition. Even so, I'm still my master's pupil. Asako didn't just develop my technique and cram me full of technical knowledge, she taught me a whole way of thinking. No matter what the job entails, I'll face it with the resolve and focus I bring to the most dangerous missions.
9029.
Well, it's just a number that comes with a bit of reputation, no matter how ugly things look. 9029? Is that actually how it's pronounced, or is it 9029? You know what? 9029, sure. Pulls through. Sachi gazes up at me, as though I've descended on a cloud from heaven. Oh, that number must be like his code. Oh, I'm such an idiot. That's probably it. Having proposed this strategy, I naturally know full well how things are going to play out. And when I think about it, or think about what's coming, it takes a real effort not to turn away from that gaze.
ユウくん
No, it's nothing. Shaking my head lightly to drive away that lingering touch of guilt, I settle my face into a serious expression. But since it's your perfect record at stake here, I think you should be the one to actually carry this plan out.
はい、私にできることがあれば何でもやらせてくださ
Right, in that case, there's something I want you to do for me.
い。やってもらいたいこと。ここは学園長室ですよね。
I'm very confused on what's about to happen. Yeah, this was my base camp during the initial preparations. Although Chizuru might be irritated to hear me say it, I needed a room no one was likely to drop by and visit.
ということは、ずいぶん前から準備を。
That's right, the method I came up with involved a good amount of simple spade work.
なるほどです。
Anyway, everything's more or less ready to go, but we still need the finishing touch.
仕上げ。
I'd like you to help me with that. I retrieve a sizable duralumin I don't know how to pronounce that case from behind the desk and swing it open.
これは何でしょう。粘土みたいにぐにゃぐにゃしていますけど。
Guess it's not surprising that Sachi wouldn't recognize this stuff, no matter how broad her studies may be. Well, she might have heard of it, but that probably wouldn't translate into recognizing it by sight. I'm hoping to wrap this up before midnight, so I'm not going to explain in detail at the moment. Just think of it as clay for now, like you said.
粘土で学力テストをなくすことができるんですか？
Yeah, once you set some of that up in a few places, the job's done. I'll show you what needs to be done. Think you can handle it?
はい、粘土細工は得意な方だと自負しています。お任せください。
Your artistic talents aren't really relevant, but whatever. That confidence should be more than enough to pull this off.
はい。
Alright, first of all, I'll explain how to install it. You see this deep hole here?
はい。それに点々と木箱のようなものが廊下に。
Well, getting all of these ready was one part of the spade work I mentioned.
なるほどです。
Anyway, when you see a hole like this, install one of the long, thin pieces of clay inside, like so. If there's a square drawn on the wall instead, set one of these square pieces of clay on top of it. That's all I need you to do for me. Any questions?
ありません。
I'm very confused on what's happening. I actually don't understand. Excellent. I've marked the points you need to cover on these plans, so go ahead and get started. I'll be taking care of something else in the meantime.
はい、わかりました。
Looks like that's about it.
はい。
Sachi can't fully mask the weariness in her voice, or on her face. No doubt a result of all the pressure she's been under lately. Our final tasks completed, we meet up in the courtyard as arranged beforehand.
私は本当に図面通りに粘土を設置しただけなのですが、これで テストをなくすことができるのでしょうか？
Yeah, as long as we didn't make any mistakes, it will.
そうですか。
Apparently not fully buying my assurances, Sachi answers somewhat half-heartedly. Of course, she doesn't have the concrete details. To her, it really was nothing more than scattering some clay around the building. It'd be stranger if she wasn't a little dubious at this point. Okay, I can tell you want to see some results. Let's get moving.
はい、わかりました。ゆうくん、私たちはどこへ向かっているのでしょう？
Sachi tagged along in silence for a good while, but eventually she's no longer able to contain her uncertainty. A place where we can overlook the
ど
school.
うしてそんなところに？
You'll understand soon enough. This is an interesting sight. Alright, I guess here we'll be fine. After about 20 minutes of walking, we reach a high place not far away. There's little cover of any sort below us. The reclaimed spit of land where our school stands lies clearly visible.
確かに学園が見渡せる景色の綺麗な場所ですけど、ゆうくんはここで何を？
Before I answer that question, there's something I want to confirm.
確認ですか？
Yeah. You sure you want to do this? Fulfill this request?
それはどういう意味でしょう？
You want to do what you're told without fail, to answer every demand anyone makes of you, and so you're absolutely determined to carry out even a completely unreasonable request like getting rid of a test. That's the choice you're making here. You sure you're not going to regret it?
後悔。
Listen to me, Sachi. This is an important question. Think it over carefully and give me an honest answer. Sachi falls silent, a serious expression on her face. Looks like she's already started to deliberate. I don't know what she's thinking. I don't know how she's reasoning her way through this question. But no matter how dependent she may be on others, no matter how passive and obedient her way of life, in the end, her decisions are her own. If nothing else, I want to remind her of that.
ゆうくん、私はこの依頼を成功させたいです。
Are we gonna blow up the school?
いい子で居続けること。それが私が私でいられるってことなんです。
I see. Then I have no choice but to make her realize. Guess that's going to cause a bit of trouble for you guys. But those are the breaks. Your luck ran out the day I transferred into your class. Sorry, Sakaki, Amane, Michiru, Makina. Alright then. Throw this switch, and you'll get what you want. With those words, I retrieve a crudely made remote control from my jacket and hand it to Sachi.
私がこのスイッチを？
Yeah, doesn't look like much, does it? But I guarantee you, that thing will get rid of the test. Throw that switch, and you'll stay a good girl.
わかりました。
After staring down at the small box in her hands for a long moment, Sachi shifts her gaze to our school, firm conviction in her eyes. Aw, man. Come on! Are they really cut it off right there, man? Like we're not gonna see what happens? Man, it was in the moment, man. What the fuck?
確かにあんなに美味しい中華料理食べたのって初めてかもね。
I was keeping my commentary to a minimum back there, by the way, because that was some serious story, and I wanted that serious story. I mean, I made a few comments here and there, but I had to stay quiet for that. I had to.
なんで私がそんなことしなきゃいけないのよ。ちょっとだけだからね。あんがとう、ジルジル。ジルジル言うな。じゃあ、ジュルジュル？それあだ名ですらないじゃない。もうただの擬音になってるし。でも中華街で高級中華食べ放題の後はヘリで夜景鑑賞なんて。榊さんの家がお金持ちなのは知ってるけど、こんなに豪遊しちゃって大丈夫だったの？ええ、中華以外は私のお金じゃないもの。え？なんて？なんでもないの。 えねえ由美子、あれが東京タワー、あれが噂の東京タワーなの。
松島さん、あなたが初めての空からの夜景に興奮しているのはわかるけれど、
失礼ね。私だって空からの夜景くらい見たことあるわよ。海外だって行ったことあるし。
へえ、みちるって海外行ったことあるんだ。
Well, she is a bra. No, I'm not gonna. That's fucking retarded.
まあね。でも遠い昔の話よ。
でも榊さんも粋な計らいしてくれるわよね。夏休み最終日にこんな思い出作ってくれるなんて。そう思ったのならお礼は風見くんに言っておくといいわ。
そこでなんでユージ？
私に今日のことを提案してくれたのは風見くんだからよ。
なるほどなるほど。榊さんのデレぶりにはそういう裏があったわけですか。それよりさ、夜景が綺麗なのは東京の方ばっかりで、三島崎の方はあまり。それはしょうがないでしょう。
I don't know why I did that. Sorry, guys. I like really. I didn't early ass skip on that. I'm sorry. That was kind of a nervous click.